The audio you're about to hear was recorded in Anchor. Learn more at anchor.fm.
Hello and welcome to the Divided Morning Headlines. I'm your host, Roddy Jones. So now we will jump on into the morning headlines, and later today we are going to have a special guest interview. So, perfect. First is a story on business, the Coca-Cola Company to be specific. The title of the headline is Coke to cut 1,200 jobs as Americans abandon soda. Coca-Cola's sales declined in the first quarter as it reconstructed its business, and the world's biggest beverage maker said it will cut And the world's biggest beverage maker said it will cut 1,200 jobs starting later this year as it deepens its cost cutting. The maker of Fanta, Sprite, and Smart Water said the job cuts will come from its corporate staff around the world. That would represent about a 22% reduction of its corporate staff of about 5,500, or a 1% in its total workforce of 1,300 employees, according to FactSet. Coca-Cola Company said the cuts would help it find another $800 million in annualized savings, in addition to the $3 billion the company previously said it is trimming. Most of those savings are expected to be realized in 2018 and 2019, it said. The cuts are part of a comprehensive review and won't be concentrated in any one place, the company said. The company has also been reshaping its business by selling back its bottling and distribution operations to independent bottlers. That means Coke is becoming more focused on selling concentrates to bottlers and marketing for its brands as its number 2 executive, James Quincey, prepares to officially take over as CEO next week. And now, in the category of defense, we have the headline, Russia says U.S. missile strike on Syria was a threat to its forces. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu complained on Wednesday that a U.S. missile strike on a Syrian airbase earlier this month had posed a threat to Russian troops and was forcing Moscow to take extra measures to protect them. Speaking at a security conference in Moscow, Shoigu restated Russia's view that the strike, which Washington conducted in response to what it said was a deadly chemicals weapon attack by Syrian government forces, was, quote, a crude violation of international law, end quote. U.S. officials said at the time that they had informed Russian forces ahead of the strikes. No Russian personnel were injured in the attack. For our next story, it is White House considering order to withdraw from NAFTA. The White House is considering withdrawing from NAFTA in the coming days, though President Donald Trump has not yet decided how to proceed, 2 senior administration officials confirmed to CNN Wednesday. The White House is currently mulling an executive order declaring the U.S.'s intent to withdraw from NAFTA, a move that could trigger a renegotiation of the trade pact rather than outright withdrawal, the officials said. But Trump could also simply launch the U.S. into renegotiations of the trade pact with Canada and Mexico, rather than making a bold move declaring the U.S.'s intent to withdraw. Politico first reported Wednesday that the White House is mulling an executive order to withdraw the U.S. from NAFTA. One senior administration official stressed that this is something Trump has, quote, always been considering, end quote. And while the White House is currently considering an executive order, the official stressed a lot could change in the coming days. Trump has not made any decisions and has a range of options are still on the table, the official said. And our next headline is about one of my favorite topics, space and science. NASA's Cassini spacecraft just plunged between Saturn and its rings. Expect an update tonight. While you were sleeping this morning, NASA's Cassini spacecraft dove between Saturn and its rings, getting closer to the planet than it's ever been before. The little space probe has been exploring the Saturn system for the last 13 years, but now it's entering its final orbital path around the planet, what's being called the grand finale. This morning's ring pass is just the first of 22 dives that Cassini will do while on this orbit, before plunging into Saturn and burning up in mid-September. The pass occurred around 5 a.m. Eastern Time this morning, but it will be a while before we know if the trip was successful. During the plunge, Cassini was gathering as much data as possible, as well as using its antenna as a shield to protect the vehicle against any potentially dangerous particles. The spacecraft won't send word that it's okay until later today, and NASA won't get that message until 3 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, April 27th. And that was our final morning headlines, so I hope you enjoyed them and were informed during this. As I said before, we will have a special interview later today, around 2:30 or so. So thank you. This has been... Hello, listeners and non-listeners of Divided. It is me, your host, Rodney Jones. This is just a quick announcement for the show later today and a possible show tomorrow. I'm not only going to be accepting, but require call-ins for from you wonderful people on two issues. The first of which is the American education system, and the second of which is business. Anything going on that you want to highlight, stuff like that. Perhaps a certain buyout of a tech company that is currently happening. All these things we'll be talking about on shows either later today or tomorrow. So we need those call-ins. Appreciate it. Thanks. Please send them in. Hello everybody and welcome to Divided. I am your host, Rodney Jones. And later in the show today, in another segment probably, I will be interviewing one of my friends and technology and business expert, Miles Hawley. That'll be in the next segment though, probably. The topic of today is, or the topic of today's broadcast is technology, and specifically the Verizon buyout of Yahoo. Now, in case you haven't heard already, obviously Verizon just, I think it was yesterday, said that it was going to start the process of buying out Yahoo. Now, if you remember a few months ago, Verizon bought out AOL and also all of their subsidiary companies. In that case, they paid the CEO a smaller amount than they are paying the Yahoo CEO. However, they let the CEO stay on to run AOL as a subsidiary business of Verizon. Now, in this case, they are not doing that. They are, however, paying the current CEO of Yahoo a larger amount than they did the AOL CEO. So this brings me to the fact that now we realize Verizon is not only a huge telephone company, but has been steadily getting further and further into the tech business by buying out other companies. They could very well be one of the next large tech giants. So now I have a list here provided by Gizmodo, titled All the Media Companies That Belong to Verizon. Now, this was made a little while ago, so then when Verizon bought AOL, so we just add on to the end of this list Yahoo now. Here it is. Verizon owns the Huffington Post, TechCrunch, MoviePhone, which used to be AOL's it was owned by AOL, and it was a search tool to find information about movies. Weblogs Incorporated, which was a blog company, obviously. 5 Minute Media, Vidable, Adapt.tv, Truvio, GoViral, and ThingsLab, and now, of course, AOL and Yahoo. So you can see that obviously Verizon is starting to get very large, which, as I said before, could make it one of the next tech giants on the scene. Now I have two more things to talk about before I end this segment. First of all, Netflix, specifically who might buy it, because obviously Netflix is a very profitable large business now, so it's only a matter of time before they get bought out by someone else. Otherwise, I guess they could become a large tech company in their own right. You never know. So I have information here from Time Magazine on the topic of who might want to buy out Netflix in the first place. And it looks like, according to their article, that Disney and Apple might be interested in buying the company. And that's really mostly all it says. Yeah, Disney and Apple, so there you go. I don't know why Disney would want to buy Netflix, but I suppose currently Netflix has a very good working relation with Disney, as they carry pretty much all of their Disney TV shows and movies. So another thing I wanted to talk about before I end this segment is who might buy Twitter, because again, that's a huge company, very popular. And according to Recode.net, they suggest that Google, of course, could likely buy Twitter, as well as companies called News Corp, Silver Lake, and as well as Disney. So again, Disney keeps popping up in here. These are all very interesting things. Hi everyone, it's Rodney, the host of Divided, that you were just listening to. The first day that I recorded my podcast on Anchor, Divided, and that was from the 5th of this month. Sorry I got it up so late, but I will be trying to do these relatively regularly, hopefully once a week or two, hopefully once a week, but it might be once every 2 weeks. And I can only do these, though, regularly if you guys download Anchor, or have Twitter or something. Tweet at me. My Twitter is at TreysTrue and at Duronster, and on Anchor, it's just Divided, and send me Collins so I can make more stuff. Great, thanks.